Welcome back to the UFO Disclosure Symposium review, and I'm joined here today with Andy from the New York UAP discussion group. How are you doing today, Andy?
I'm doing good, Carl. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to have you here, man. So we have an amazing lineup of people presenting and speaking at the Disclosure Symposium this year. It's May 27th through the 29th in Vernal, Utah, where people can actually get tickets to watch online as well. The links will be down in the description below. But Andy, how did you get all tied up in this? And now you're on a panel and presenting at this Disclosure Symposium. So bring everybody up to speed how you got to this point.
Honestly, it literally just fell on my lap. I wasn't expecting any of this, to be honest with you. I just ended up, having someone reach out to me. I got the footage, and next thing you know, I'm on a freaking panel lineup for an event in May that's going to be worldwide, which is pretty incredible, honestly.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of media coverage, major media news releases and press releases going on with it. And how did you get started in this whole UFO field? Because you started like with Instagram, and now you have a YouTube channel, and you've gotten to the point now where credible people are actually sending you and trusting you with footage that is sometimes requires a lot of care once this stuff is sent to you and what you're going to do with it. So how did you get started even with your interest in UFOs?
Well, as you already know, I've had my personal experiences. So I've seen it firsthand. I know it's not, something that's imaginary. It's real. Just because, people don't see it doesn't mean that it's, it doesn't exist. And people need to understand that, But, once I had that experience, I've always was fascinated and, as to what I saw and wanted to learn more about it. So I started researching and, reading up on other people's accounts and their experiences. And, throughout the years, seeing what they've gone through or what people have gone through that was so similar to what I went through started to basically show me that there's more out there to this existence than we're aware of. And after a few years, social media started coming out, and then I started getting into Instagram and saw everybody was posting a lot of fake footage, and people were believing that these videos and information was real. So I decided to start an account because I wanted to put out the facts, or at least as factual as I could be with, the correct information to clear up any misinformation that's out there, to, avoid the confusion that surrounds this subject, because too many people post too many fake things and it muddies the waters. So I wanted to do my part and created my account to basically put out correct information, or like I said, as best as I could.
You're right. It's difficult these days with Photoshop and CGI, and a lot of college students, for their finals projects, they're challenged to do some sort of like CGI rendering creation. And a lot of them are like indistinguishable from reality.
Oh, yeah.
They look so realistic. And so it is difficult. And so because you started filtering through all of this type of content and weeding through the sources, what is it that has helped you kind of determine the real stuff from the fake stuff? Is it where the footage comes from and kind of validating the actual originators and the sources, or how do you know about that?
It's basically, like you said, because you go through it, you view so many videos, and you can pick up little signs here and there that validate real footage from false footage. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, for example, that there was a few videos that were posted all over, the news, and they were putting it out there every time they would talk about UFOs. This video was appearing, and it ended up being CGI. And I realized that before, like, all of it started coming on the news, because I would literally spend hours upon hours sifting through YouTube, looking at all the videos I could possibly find, trying to get the details as to, okay, this is fake because there's no backstory to it. There's no audio. There's no reaction. So it's like, okay, that's questionable. But when you get footage that, you have a reaction towards what's being seen, and you could see that the pixelage around the object is similar to its surroundings, then you start to see, okay, this is possibly real. And then if you can find more information to go with it, then it further validates the footage. But like you said, because technology is so good now, it's getting very, very, very difficult, which is why, when I got these videos, I knew right away, okay, this is 100% real. There's no faking this. There's no doubting this footage. It's coming from a military source, from military grade camera equipment. So there's no questioning what is captured in this footage, which is one of the reasons why, regardless of all the hate that I got when I first released a few of the videos, I continue to stick by it. And, and my belief that it's 100% authentic what the object is captured, that the object that was captured is, unidentified. It's not something of ours. It's not something from our military or any other military. It's unknown what it is. So that's why I stick by it the way I do, regardless of, the toxicity that I get sent my way.
Well, one of the things that I really like about your work and how you bring the validity to the table, instead of just throwing everything up that gets clickbait views or whatever, is that you not only validate the sources and make sure and double check everybody that's sending you stuff and where you're getting it from, and reach out to them and check on all that, but you're also getting the footage and the stuff sent to you double checked, which is why you surround yourself with like credible people. You started working with like Chris Lito, who's the F-16 fighter pilot, retired, who has a lot of experience with understanding the trigonometry behind like flight patterns and the equipment, and like David Fauch is a military grade FLIR expert. He rebuilds and takes apart and programs FLIR equipment, and so you bounce all of this footage off of these guys in order to validate it, and now you have this circle of people around you to help. And so just to back up just a little bit, a couple of years ago we had the whole bombshell drop that the military, the Navy, the Pentagon all agreed and admitted that there was UFO footage that was valid. The Tic Tac, gimbal, and Go Fast footage. What was it about when that stuff was released that really changed the game for you and your whole approach to this? Because it was just Instagram and YouTube, and now it's a whole symposium and a press release and a whole bunch of stuff. So what was it about that coming out that shifted gears for you and your momentum?
Because now they finally admitted it. So all those years of being ridiculed, all those years of being made to look like there was something wrong with me because I'm talking about something that others just couldn't wrap their minds around, is now on the news in the mainstream, and they're talking about it, and it's real. You understand? It's no longer a joke. It's no longer, some science fiction story or, something made up. This is legitimate. This is a real thing that is now being recognized, and it gave me that, how you could say, that push, more of a push to continue, because now it's like, well, I've been saying it for years. We've been saying it for years. Experiences, people who believe have been saying this now for years, and here we go. Like we were right. Now you guys look like the crazy ones, and we've been, saying all along. You know what I mean? So that seeing it on the news was like you could take a deep breath and breathe a sigh of relief, because it's like, finally, you know what I mean? But, there's also other things that come along with that too, which is, will there ever be an apology to all the people that they've hurt, to all the people that they've damaged, to all the people that they've, their lives have been ruined? All these things that have happened to these individuals throughout the years when all of this was still a secret, now that it's out there and being spoken about like it's nothing, it's like, you forget about all of that you've done, all of that was being done to these individuals. So that's also another motivating factor for me, because, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Real harm has been done and real damage has been done to a lot of people, not even, individuals that have come forward with information, but just, humans in general who've experienced things that no one's ever believed. They had no one to talk to, no one to turn to, and live their lives, thinking something was wrong with them. Some even taking their lives because of not being able to, live with what they experienced. And, to me, that's wrong. And I feel like, I feel like I'm doing my part when it comes to representing those individuals who never had a voice, who were never believed. And, that to me is one of the big reasons why I've always, done what I've done and pushed it as hard as I did.
And we know kind of behind the scenes what we've had to go through to get to this point, to where now this has become like a big deal. But, we do have all these experts surrounding these 4 new pieces of footage that are about to come out. What can you say? I know we can't talk a lot about it because there is a lot of like official press releases that are upcoming revolving around this, as well as the symposium itself that everybody's anticipating. But Andy, what can you say about the footage without giving away too much? Is it 4 different locations, 4 different camera angles of one craft or object? Anything that you can say at all for anybody that's interested?
Well, again, they're all, taken by military grade equipment, FLIR footage. They're all from different dates. Interesting thing is that they're all from also the same relative location, which is a big deal, honestly, because it shows you that there's, something going on in that area. There's a lot of high activity. There's also been incidents from this location that have been on the news that involved, quote unquote drones being chased. So it adds, stories like that add even more validity to what's being captured on these videos, because it's showing that there's definitely something going on in that area. Like I just said, that these pilots and these individuals are seeing them all the time in the skies, and they just don't know what it is. And a lot of these people are afraid to come forward because of the stigma that's still behind it, and not even so much the stigma, but that is kind of disappearing now. The problem now is people's uneducated opinions. You know what I'm saying? Are taking over. The legitimate science and research that needs to be done to figuring out what this is and what's all about and what does it mean. And it's how can I put it? We have to begin approaching this the right way to get the correct answers. And with these videos, I think it's the step in the right direction to get to that point. So these videos are that important because they are real. Like, this is a legitimate thing that was captured. It shows you that these things are in the skies all the time.
What can you say, Andy, about the analysis that's being done that will be presented at the symposium? Can you speak to that?
Well, the analysis is, as you said, being done by a lot of very credible and intelligent individuals who are doing their due diligence and making sure that the investigation is done right, properly. It's not being done in a way where it's not being taken serious. Like, these videos are being taken serious 1,000%, and the findings so far are very, very, very interesting. They are showing things that I originally never caught when first viewing the footage. So far, from what I understand, everyone that's seen it or involved is very excited about what they've seen or what they've been uncovering and deducing from the footage. So I think it's going to be a positive thing in May that this information comes out with all these individuals backing it, because now there's no question, there's no doubting, there's there's gonna be no room for UFO Twitter to come and try to do what they usually do when it comes to things like this.
They might still try. We'll find out.
They'll try, but it's going to be a little futile.
Well, Andy, I can't wait. We're going to find out May 27th through the 29th at the UFO Disclosure Symposium in Vernal, Utah, or online. It's going to be a live stream, so make sure and click the link down in the description below. There's going to be affiliate links also over on Andy's page as well, so make sure and check that out. And Andy, I can't wait to hang out with you there up at the event and meet you in person for the first time. It's going to be awesome.
I know. That's going to be good.
Well, thanks, Andy. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Carl.